Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in one of the most underrated tier 10s in all of Blitz. This is the Object 263. In front of you, we have the armor profile of the Object 263. We can see that, yeah, it does have some weak spots. Its lower plate is only 200 mils thick, and it does have a bit of a weak spot on the mid plate, which is about 260. However, while these are big weak spots, they are quite easy to hide. Hiding the lower plate is as simple as driving to any cover and just not showing the lower plate. Hiding the mid plate is also very easy. This tank only has 4 degrees of gun depression, but that makes it very easy to just use the gun depression and hide the mid plate. With that, the 263 goes from a vehicle that has a lot of weak spots to now a vehicle that has, no weak spots. The only spot you're going to be able to try and pen is the little corner cutouts, which is not an easy shot, especially if you leave it at an angle like this. Add that into the fact that the 263, even with heat shells to any tier 10 heavy, is impervious, and yeah, the tank becomes pretty deadly. The major weakness that the 263 featured for years was the gun mantlet. You could shoot directly through it with heat shells, and it would always damage the tank if you had more than like 320 mils a pen. It was a massive weakness that destroyed a lot of the tank's capabilities. However, in the later updates of the game, Wargaming buffed the tank's mantlet armor to have a bit of space. As you can see, there is armor behind the gun mantlet, and because of this, it makes it impossible to penetrate with heat shells. If you have high penetration APCR, there is a possibility you can cut through the 263's armor, but it's very hard to do. Because of that, it took what was a fairly weak tank destroyer to now one of the deadliest in the game. The 263's major aspects that make it strong are, first of all, mobility. It goes at a top speed of 50 and a reverse of 20, while also featuring 50 degrees of traverse. So it's incredibly fast, it's quite easy to get out of position as well, and when you add that into the traverse speed, you can't flank it. So that's, first of all, the great things about the 263. Add that into the fact that frontally, its armor is incredibly strong, and it features 3,856 DPM, and yeah, you can start to understand why the 263 is high up on my bucket list for tanks to play. So, up against us we have some pretty strong opponents. They got a mouse, IS-7, 60 TP. We'll see which way our team goes. We do have a 60 or CS63. And he might go up the bridge, not really sure, but you can see our entire team is going to town. I don't really care if I go up bridge or town. This is the kind of tank that actually going up bridge is kind of sussin because it does have such poor gun depression, so I'm actually not going to complain. Normally you'll hear me ranting all day long about going town, but yeah, that's not much of a problem for me. So what do we have? We got the IS-7 who has driven into the base, and for now, we're just going to chill right here. This is a perfect position to hide my lower plate and use the tank's gun depression, so this should be fairly strong. I don't think that IS-7 is going to poke, but judging that they're also capturing base A, I don't actually think they're here, which is rather awkward. I'm going to be careful, but yeah, it looks like they have decided not to push here. So, we're going to get one shell into the enemy IS-7, just like that. And our SU just got ammo racked. Okay, well that's not very fun. The good news is that we are hiding our weak spots. This IS-7 is going to have no chance of penning through us here. The problem is that there's absolute death behind me. So for now, we're just going to be shooting this IS-7 as much as possible. This is where having 3,800 DPM is a little insane. We have the ability to absolutely just demolish that IS-7. And it's just ridiculous what you can get away with in the tank. Now we have the 60 TP. I was going to shoot that 263 because it is a bit of a threat, but it's not too much of a problem here. Now you'll notice that this 263 has obviously showcased his big gaping weak spot. Because of that, we're able to get a super easy pen in. And yeah, this guy, he's a goner. But we are already up to 3,200 damage this game. Just think about that. In this short battle, where our team has really done nothing, we've already been able to deal 3,500 damage. That is insane. It's ludicrous damage numbers when you think about it. At this point, we're going to to push the mouse. And, oh, we also got the grill. Maybe we can hit him on the move really quickly. Bonk. Ah, that's a rip and a half. But that's fine, because we're going to use, once again, the insane DPM this vehicle has, get behind the mouse, and farm the everlasting life out of him. We are about to break 4,000 damage at this point. There you go. That's our 4,000 damage marker. And we're just going to keep on farming. Let's reload. 3, 2, 1. There you go. And the Yag Tiger finishes him off with an ammo rack. That's pretty dang nasty, I'm not going to lie. Alright, well, we're up to 4,600 damage. Now we're going to push on the grill, and because this tank has good mobility, we don't even have to worry about that. So let's just drive right over here. Now, I will say, the accuracy on move is not great. And unfortunately, it looks like we're not actually going to get a heck of a lot more damage out because of the fact our team has just obliterated that grill before we could actually get to him. But that's fine with me. Are we going to out-reload the Stritzvon? No. But, yeah, I mean, that's the 263. Do I need to say anything else? The tank just farms in a frontline position as long as you hide the lower plate. And as you saw, when fighting that IS-7, I specifically put myself in an engagement where that IS-7 had no chance of cutting through us. If we cut back, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. But I'm going to put my tank right on this little stairwell. And once I shoot through the brick, I'll show you just what this looks like for the enemy IS-7. So this guy is obviously looking at me. Now granted, he's not a very good player. He should have pushed his tank over here to where he could have at least side-scraped. Instead, he kind of just let us farm him. But this is what the IS-7 sees. I mean, that is exactly the position I was just talking about on Armor Inspector. You only have 4 degrees of gun depression, but because of that, it's very easy to use the 4 degrees and kind of max it out. So that IS-7 literally has no chance of penning us. I mean, if we make our way back over to Armor Inspector very quickly and we go to Tier 10 Soviet heavies like the IS-7, this is what he saw. I mean, he literally had no chance of penetrating us. It is actually insane what the Object 263 can get away with. And it's one of the major reasons why I've always enjoyed playing the tank so much. Now that the mantlet is impervious, you can put the tank in a position like that, and you're basically uncounterable. It's rather insane. Now, I got a replay here. I thought I was actually recording during this gameplay. It turns out I actually ended my recording, and I was recording when I didn't want to be, so yeah, big L for me there. Now, I didn't do a lot of damage in this game, only about 3,500, but I thought this would be a good example of the 263 in a situation where you're literally frontlining against heavies, and you can still do a pretty solid job. The lower plate on the 263 is rather small. I wouldn't say it's the smallest lower plate, it's still pretty easy for people that just aim to shoot, but if you roll around a corner, snap somebody and back up, and they're just trying to aim in, it's actually pretty hard to hit. So, early game here, we've spotted the 268, we've got the IS-7, and we also see the grill in the back. I'm going to shoot at the grill and back my tushy on up. I don't want to put myself in a position where that grill can obviously just beam through my armor. While the IS-7 is gonna not penetrate me whatsoever, on flat ground, there is a possibility that the grill can cut through me. So for now, we're just gonna be patient and we're gonna wait. E100, I thought he was gonna show me his lower plate. Unfortunately, he ended up backing up, so we weren't able to cut that shell through. So as of right now, not much is going on, but we can see my E100 has literally full health, killed himself. I legitimately thought that this was a complete loss, but we've been able to get one shell out, 470. Something that I always love about the 263 is that it features 460 damage per shot. That's a lot. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot when you compare it to, let's say, I don't know, even the Minnow, which has 490, or other tank destroyers like the T110E3, which now has 680, but the fact that this thing has so much DPM and it has so much alpha, it's a 7-second reload. A lot of people try to complain that the gun on the 263 is not very accurate, but it doesn't really need to be. All you do is you put it in a frontline position. I mean, sure, it's not accurate, but that was a pretty easy slap right there, I'd say. It's so easy to put the tank in a frontline position like this and just slap. So we got the Object 268, who we are going to bonk. There you go. Nice. Okay, let's reload again, and let's see if we can get one more shell into him. E100's kind of screwing him, but look at this! What is that? How does that not pen Wargaming? Bruh! Bruh! I can't. This game gets me so mad. Thankfully, we do get a very easy penetration onto the E100, and because this tank features 20 in reverse, we were very easily able to get ourselves out of that situation we were stuck in. And look at that! Again, an incredibly easy bonk into that 268, and just like that, you're gone! As we can see, once again, the 263 just beans. Its armor works enough that you'll get bounces. Now this here, again, the worst luck in the world, I guess, because that doesn't penetrate. And that was also a premium shell I shot, so whatever. I guess we'll just load a shell right into the corner of his turret cheek and finish him off. That is the 263. 4,000, or not 4,000, 3,450 damage. Nothing crazy, as I said, but this was a situation where normally you'd want to be in a frontline heavy. I'm in a tank destroyer with no turret and very weak spots, but as you can see, as long as you understand how to work the 263, it can be so dang strong. 2 aces back to back and just an insane vehicle. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.